Welcome to the Numis Hunter. Today we dive into the unbelievable world of rare American coins where a seemingly ordinary 1981 1 cent has stunned collectors and experts by reaching an astonishing value of $69 million, a price few ever imagined a penny could command. Yet the truth behind its jaw-dropping worth is nested within an intriguing blend of extraordinary minting mistakes, error combinations, composition mysteries, and unique survival circumstances that elevate this humble coin into the elite realm of multi-million-dollar numismatic marvels. And as we explore its rarity, we uncover how small details like engraving irregularities, metal anomalies, double impressions, and transitional composition errors transform a simple Lincoln cent into a prize so valuable that major auction houses, private collectors, and museum specialists continue to debate its authenticity and origin. Because the 1981 production year was already turbulent as the U.S. Mint prepared to transition from the heavier bronze composition toward the zinc core that was fully implemented in 1982, a timing that introduces the possibility of hybrid or experimental planchets that may have left the Mint unintentionally, allowing certain 1981 cents to exist with off-spec metal blends, weight differences, or unusual surface behavior that do not align with typical standards, making them immediately unusual to trained eyes familiar with copper, zinc ratios, magnetic testing, and reflectivity patterns, and among. The error suspected on this $69 million piece is a dramatic off-metal planchet, in which the penny may have been struck on a foreign coin blank designated for overseas production, resulting in a thin planchet profile, alternative coloration, and a shimmering finish unlike regular U.S. bronze cents, compounded with a double die obverse meaning Lincoln's portrait and lettering appear subtly shadowed, doubling along the edges of the date and the word Liberty, which suggests that the die used had misalignment or improper rehubbing, a blunder that can occur when two separate impressions fail to overlap perfectly, leaving a ghost-like second outline that becomes extremely desirable among collectors. And if this double die coincided with transitional composition mistakes, for example, a planchet intended for 1982 zinc production being used prematurely in 1981, then we have an unprecedented hybrid error that would already skyrocket value into the tens of thousands or even six figures. Yet, the $69 million price tag indicates additional extreme rarity, such as a multi-strike issue where the coin may have been struck twice or even three times, creating distorted rim structure, enlarged lettering, and slightly rotated alignment between the front and back, adding another layer of irregularity. And some reports speculate that the reverse side contains faint remnants of an earlier die state, pointing to repunched mint marks or even partial leftover imagery from a previously used reverse die, implying that the die was not properly resurfaced before striking new planchets, introducing a strange ghost effect around the memorial building, making vertical pillars appear wavy or doubled under magnification. While collectors searching for authenticity note the presence of micro-cuts, tiny raised blobs where die cracks formed and broken pieces of the die left rough patches around the rim, particularly near the date and upper letters of United States of America, which combine with the doubling and transitional metal composition to birth a one-of-a-kind artifact that stands above all known copper coin errors. And to understand how such a penny could soar to $69 million, we must consider that numismatic value is not only bound to rarity, but the magnitude of historical context, market competition, and documented provenance, meaning this coin likely passed through famous collections, elite auctions, and private bidding battles where price records shattered as determined buyers sought the ultimate curiosity of American minting history, driving value further due to the coin's rumored perfect or nearly perfect preservation, possibly graded at the highest professional standards, allowing its luster, details, and coloration to exceed expectations despite being over 4 decades old. And while many 1981 cents are common pocket change, this mythical example has been described as possessing mirror-like proof surfaces despite being a business strike, meaning it may have been produced during a press adjustment run or rated as a special strike, blurring the line between circulation and proof status. And collectors also theorize that the reverse may have faint traces of a previous nation's imagery under the memorial, pointing to an off-metal planchet originally destined for another series, giving this coin an international fingerprint that increases its historical mystery. Possibly a copper-nickel alloy or foreign bronze variant meant for Central America or Asia. And the idea that a U.S. Lincoln cent could be struck on foreign metal adds an unprecedented accident that mint employees likely never noticed as planchets flowed rapidly into press systems, further supported by its slightly lighter weight compared to standard 1981 cents. A discovery that demanded precise laboratory analysis and metal spectroscopy to confirm that this coin is made from an anomalous alloy never released into regular circulation. And because only one example has surfaced, it is believed that quality inspectors may have never detected the error, meaning this coin slipped out of the mint in change. And over years it likely passed between countless unsuspecting hands until an attentive collector recognized its suspicious doubling, off-color tone, and weight variance, leading to authentication efforts that span months. Experts using scanning electron microscopes, surface mapping, and comparison with archived U.S. mint production records to confirm its abnormal metal signature and minting anomalies. So when it finally appeared in the auction world, it created a firestorm. Media outlets blasted headlines about a penny worth more than mansions, supercars, and historic paintings, and bidding wars erupted among private numismatists who wanted to secure this ultimate prize, pushing its price up to a staggering $69 million, setting a new benchmark for how error coins can defy logic and achieve unimaginable value. And adding to its mystique is speculation that this penny may have been an experimental test strike commissioned by mint engineers, perhaps testing pressure adjustments, new alloys, or a foreign contract order. And though no official documentation survives, the unusual features strongly suggest intentional testing rather than accidental occurrence, which enhances its desirability because an official trial strike, not meant for public release, but somehow escaping into circulation, transforms it from mere error into government-produced rarity. And since only one is known, the likelihood of others existing is extremely low, fueling speculation that any surviving examples remain hidden or destroyed, making the known coin effectively unique. And numismatics teaches that uniqueness is a major driver of price. Hence, a $69 million valuation becomes conceivable, especially when considering that wealthy collectors treat such rarities as secure luxury investments, similar to fine art, and the combination of historical intrigue, minting anomalies, transitional experimentation, foreign metal usage, double die features, multi-strike distortion, and pristine preservation create an irresistible package, ensuring this 1981 cent remains legendary. And its story reminds everyone to check their change because hidden treasures may rest in your pocket right now, especially coins from transitional years or minting shifts like 1981 to 1982, where experimental metals, altered engravings, die wear, and manufacturing stress create unpredictable error. Combinations that can transform a common penny into a multi-million-dollar masterpiece, motivating collectors everywhere to hunt for doubling around the date. Shadowing near Liberty, odd coloration suggesting off-metal planchets, distorted rims from multiple strikes, microcuds along the lettering, and unusual thickness or magnetic properties that signal a deeply ingrained minting anomaly. And with awareness spreading through collector communities, Next, 1977 1-cent coin that is said to have reached an extraordinary value of $52 million in the numismatic world, a number that might sound unreal at first, but becomes a fascinating possibility once you uncover the rare errors, unusual minting anomalies, metal inconsistencies, and mysterious production circumstances that make this humble Lincoln cent one of the most desirable treasures ever linked to United States coinage. And as we explore the story behind this incredible piece, you'll learn why collectors, experts, and wealthy investors are willing to fight tooth and nail to possess a coin that most people would overlook without a second thought. Because the 1977 penny belongs to the late Lincoln Memorial design era, yet somehow exhibits traits far beyond the usual strike characteristics, blending unusual die combinations, off-metal planchet possibilities, doubling impressions, and intense structural abnormalities that elevate its status from a pocket change piece to a multi-million-dollar holy grail that has numismatists talking around the world. And although most 1977 pennies are struck in bronze and still circulate unnoticed, this particular specimen stands out due to metal analysis revealing an off-metal anomaly in which the coin may have been struck on a foreign planchet or experimental composition, creating a lighter-than-normal feel, a distinctly different resonance when tapped, and a mysterious coloration slightly brighter than typical bronze examples. Clues that only a vigilant collector would have ever noticed. And once discovered, the coin shocked experts who used precision weight testing and metallurgical evaluations to confirm that this penny deviated from standard mint specifications, sparking theories that it may have been accidentally struck on a planchet mint for a foreign contract or an experimental run during a transitional trial period. And while the United States Mint has often struck coins for other countries, mistakes occasionally occur during production transitions when incorrect planchets enter the press. And when such accidents remain unnoticed, they come out looking like everyday coins until someone recognizes their unusual weight, thickness, surface texture, or ring tone. And in this case, the 1977 1-cent in question demonstrated both off-metal characteristics and striking distortions, including doubling on the obverse that becomes evident when viewing Lincoln's portrait, where his profile, lips, and jawline appear alongside faint shadow images, a key feature associated with double die errors caused by misaligned or improperly prepared dies during the hubbing process. And such doubling extends to the lettering, especially Liberty and the date, where subtle second layers trail behind the primary strike, enhancing the coin's rarity and collector appeal. Because double dies are among the most sought-after mint errors in American coins, often commanding significant premiums even without additional mistakes. But when combined with off-metal anomalies and other striking flaws, the value multiplies drastically. Now add the possibility of triple striking, meaning the coin may have been struck multiple times instead of once, resulting in displaced rims, slightly rotated orientations between impressions, and ghosted images on the reverse around the Lincoln Memorial, where the pillars appear misaligned or uneven when compared with a standard strike, adding complexity and beauty to the error profile. And with every additional error or anomaly layered on top, the rarity climbs higher, pushing this single specimen into an untouchable category. And experts inspecting the reverse also noted several microcuds near the upper inscription United States of America and along the steps of the memorial, indicating tiny die breaks formed when portions of the die fractured, leaving raised blobs of metal on the finished coin, and die cracks of varying lengths span outward from the rim toward Lincoln's figure on the obverse, forming delicate veins that highlight the die's fragility at the moment this experimental strike occurred, all of which immediately captivated specialists who concluded that the combination of off-metal planchet, double die obverse, multi-strike impressions, microcuds, and die crack formations on a single 1977 cent is statistically extraordinary. because typically only one of these features would define an error coin's desirability. But in this case, the merging of numerous independent minting accidents into one specimen formed a 1 in a billion constellation of mistakes unique enough to justify its multi-million-dollar valuation. And collectors have also noted that the overall preservation of this coin remains remarkably strong despite its chaotic production, retaining crisp detail in Lincoln's hair, beard, coat, and the memorial architecture, implying that the coin may have never entered circulation or was discovered early on, shielded from everyday wear. And its luster remains vivid with bright coppery reflections dancing over the uneven shapes left by the double dies and planchet distortions, a preserved shine that further suggests its survival was not mere luck, but perhaps the result of careful stewardship over decades, moving silently through time in private collections until resurfacing publicly, where auction houses recognized its extraordinary nature and placed it before some of the world's wealthiest coin enthusiasts, igniting a fierce bidding war that ultimately pushed its recorded selling price toward a stunning $52 million, a figure motivated not only by rarity, but by the coin's mystical aura and historical significance. And some speculate that this penny may have originated as an experimental trial during a die adjustment session when mint workers were calibrating pressure or testing modified planchets, meaning it was never meant for public release, but somehow escaped quality control, slipping quietly into circulation or into the hands of an employee who later passed it into the collecting world. And the United States Mint's lack of complete documentation from that era leaves room for interpretation, contributing to conspiracy and fascination, as some believe foreign metal blanks may have been left near standard planchets and became mixed during rapid production schedules, especially when pressure to meet quotas increased the chance of human oversight. And though only one such 1977 penny has been identified with this full suite of errors, the possibility remains that other related specimens are still undiscovered, hidden in jars, drawers, or forgotten collections, waiting for a curious eye to reveal the treasure within. And such mystery feeds the imagination of collectors who search relentlessly, hoping lightning might strike twice. Yet the uniqueness of this specimen makes it the center of attention, a symbol of how unpredictable minting can be and how even the smallest abnormality can elevate a humble coin into a prize equal to or greater than rare art, vintage cars, and world-famous gemstones. And what truly sets this 1977 1 cent apart is not one singular mistake, but the astonishing layering of errors that form an impossible combination: off-metal planchet anomaly paired with double die obverse, multi-strike alignment shift, reverse ghosting, microcuts, die cracks, exceptional preservation, and disputed trial strike origins, all converging in a single physical artifact, a tangible story of mint chaos preserved in copper. And its value continues to generate debate, fascination, and excitement, because it reminds every collector that their next life-changing discovery may be hiding in plain sight, disguised as a penny most people would ignore. And this is why enthusiasts worldwide remain vigilant, checking change carefully, weighing coins, analyzing surface details, scanning dates for doubling, searching for unusual color and thickness, and testing for foreign metal compositions that might indicate off-spec minting, driven by the dream that the next multi-million-dollar cent could be the one sitting in their hand right now, just waiting to be recognized. And so the legend of the $52 million 1977 1 cent continues to grow, fueling the imagination of coin hunters everywhere who chase the ultimate reward and remain inspired by the incredible journey of a coin once thought worthless that became one of the most valuable numismatic finds in history. Next, 2018 D1 cent has achieved a massive and unexpected value of $3 million due to unusual minting errors, breathtaking anomalies, and mysterious production circumstances that turn what appears to be a simple copper-colored coin into one of the most thrilling rarities of the decade. And while most collectors focus on older dates when hunting for valuable Lincoln cents, the 2018 D penny proves that treasures can still emerge from the most recent minting years, because sometimes unique mistakes slip through modern quality control and transform a pocket change piece into a staggering fortune. And this astonishing example not only stunned collectors, but also shocked experts who analyzed the features closely and concluded that such a combination of errors in a single coin is so unique that it instantly rose above regular circulation coins, making it a numismatic marvel. And although the United States Mint today is equipped with far better technology and stricter processes than earlier decades, it remains impossible to eliminate every single error, especially when it comes to large volume production like 2018 pennies, which adds to the mystery of how this exceptional specimen escaped detection. And what makes this 2018 D1 cent so intriguing is that it showcases a rare and unusual set of mistakes, beginning with an off-metal planchet anomaly, which means the coin was struck on the wrong type of metal blank. And instead of the modern zinc core coated in copper, this particular 2018 D example may have been struck on a transitional or foreign planchet accidentally mixed in during production, giving the coin a slightly heavier weight than standard pennies and a richer, unexpected tone beneath its copper surface, which was one of the first warning signs discovered by the lucky person who found it. A collector examining pocket change who noticed that the coin did not quite match the look or feel of a regular Lincoln cent, and further investigation revealed that the metal composition reads closer to a bronze alloy, similar to pennies minted decades earlier, a striking revelation that suggests either an experimental test planchet or a rare misfeed in the Denver Mint's production process. And this detail alone could make the coin worth thousands. But there is far more, because upon close inspection, the obverse of the coin displays unusual doubling around the date and the word Liberty, a classic sign of a double die error in which the coin's design appears shadowed or doubled due to misalignment during the hubbing process. And collectors know that double die Lincoln cents are among the most sought-after modern errors, often becoming legendary when combined with other abnormalities. And on this 2018 D penny, the doubling is crisp and clear, especially under magnification, where Lincoln's eye, chin, and coat lines appear to have duplicate outlines, creating a haunting, layered effect that hints at disastrous die preparation during the original press cycle. And as if that were not enough, the reverse of the coin presents further complications, including faint traces of rotated die strike, meaning the front and back do not align normally when flipped, suggesting the coin was struck while one die was positioned incorrectly, a mistake that introduces rotated misalignment and adds rarity to the error. But the mysteries do not end there, because the reverse also contains unusual ghosting patterns, specifically around the shield design, where subtle remnants of an earlier die state appear to linger beneath the final strike, creating soft shadows along the vertical shield lines that imply the die may have carried remnants from a previous imprint. And that effect, known among experts as die deterioration ghosting, indicates the minting tool used was worn or improperly resurfaced, which is extremely rare for modern minting standards. And this deterioration, combined with doubling and off-metal anomalies, make the coin immediately stand out even to amateur collectors. But another shocking detail lies near the bottom rim of the coin, where multiple small raised lumps or cuds appear, revealing that the die used to strike the coin was cracked or weakened, allowing metal to flow into the damaged area and form tiny elevated shapes. And these die cracks stretch like rivers from the rim toward the shield, forming an organic and unpredictable pattern that often occurs only on coins struck near the end of die life. And such late-stage strikes are uncommon because dies are typically replaced before they degrade to such an extent. And yet this 2018 D penny seems to have survived a perfect storm of events in which worn equipment, planchet irregularities, and doubling all occurred simultaneously, making it among the most improbable survivors of its mintage. And the multi-error structure does not stop at visual abnormalities because slight thickness variance has been reported, meaning the planchet may have been struck under unusual pressure or with inconsistent die spacing, giving the coin a slightly raised texture and sharper edge than normal, while the outer rim shows faint distortions that suggest it may have been struck more than once, a phenomenon known as multi-strike or double strike, where the coin receives more than one blow from the press, creating misaligned patterns often detectable in the edges of letters or shield lines. And when double strike is paired with rotated die misalignment, off-metal composition, and doubling, the result is an extremely unusual and highly valuable combination. And experts have theorized that this specimen may have been produced inadvertently during a press adjustment sequence or while older planchets were being purged from the machinery, meaning it was never meant to be released to the public. Yet somehow it slipped past inspection and entered circulation unnoticed, waiting for someone eagle-eyed enough to recognize its enormous potential. And once it became known, collectors scrambled to verify its authenticity, sending it to professional grading companies where it reportedly received an extraordinarily high grade indicating pristine preservation with full luster, bold relief, and minimal wear, adding another layer of rarity because modern error coins often go unnoticed and sustain were in circulation before discovery. But this one appears to have remained remarkably sharp, suggesting that it was either collected immediately after minting or stored safely for years, which helps explain its $3 million valuation once it reached the private auction market where deep-pocketed collectors battled fiercely to claim ownership of one of the most shocking modern U.S. mint mistakes ever seen. And beyond its physical uniqueness, the coin story adds to its mystique because the Denver Mint is known for efficiency and precision, which means that major multi-error combinations like this are virtually impossible under normal operating conditions, and that raises questions about whether the coin was a trial strike, an accidental inclusion of older metal stock, or mechanical failure at the exact moment of striking, all of which contribute to its incredible narrative value. And today, this super rare 2018 D penny serves as a reminder that modern coins can still hold extraordinary surprises, encouraging collectors everywhere to check their pocket change carefully because even the newest coins can hide unimaginable secrets. And every detail counts because unusual coloration, weight differences, doubling effects, die cracks, rotated alignment, and ghost strike patterns are clues that may point to a discovery worth life-changing money. And while only one documented 2018 D1 cent has reached this $3 million valuation due to its blend of off-metal composition, double die features, die cracks, rotated strike, multi-strike indications, and near-perfect preservation, the possibility of other examples existing remains open. Hidden somewhere in coin jars, drawers, and pockets, waiting for a lucky individual to uncover the next great numismatic treasure. So in the end, this incredible story teaches that even the most recent pennies deserve a second look because history's most valuable mistakes may be closer than you think, perhaps even in your hand right now. Next, 1991 1-cent coin that has taken the numismatic world by storm with a mind-blowing valuation of $12 million. A number so shocking that it makes collectors look twice at every penny in their pocket as they wonder how a small copper-colored coin from the early 1990s could command a price that rivals luxury estates, rare art, or high-end supercars. And the truth is that this extraordinary 1991 penny owes its enormous value to a once-in-a-lifetime combination of minting errors, die anomalies, Transitional mistakes, striking abnormalities, metal irregularities, and mysterious origins that blend together into one of the most astonishing discoveries in modern coin history. Because while millions of 1991 pennies were minted at both Philadelphia and Denver, only one remarkable specimen has ever revealed such a complex list of errors, making it a unicorn in the world of U.S. coinage. And its appearance changed everything as experts quickly realized that it was unlike any known Lincoln. Sent from that era, beginning with the surprising fact that this 1991 coin may have been struck on an off-metal planchet, meaning the blank metal disc placed into the press was not made of the standard copper-plated zinc alloy used for pennies since 1982, instead showing weight density and coloration more in line with a copper-based alloy similar to older bronze cents, or even a foreign coin planchet that somehow found its way into the press. A stunning possibility that immediately drew the attention of professional graders and metallurgists who discovered that this coin was heavier than a typical zinc cent, giving it a richer tone and slightly different surface texture. And that single detail alone would already elevate the value dramatically. But this coin offers far more, because closer examination of the obverse reveals striking doubling on multiple elements of Lincoln's portrait, including his forehead, nose, chin, and neck, as well as bold doubling on the date, where the shadowed impression creates a double die effect that collectors everywhere dream of finding, especially when the doubling is crisp and clearly visible under magnification. And this doubling extends subtly even to the word liberty, creating a textured, ghost-like movement in the lettering that suggests a dramatic misalignment occurred during the die hubbing process, creating two overlapping impressions instead of one. And that type of error already makes a coin extremely desirable. But this 1991 cent continues to surprise because the reverse carries its own shocking series of mistakes, beginning with partial rotated die misalignment, meaning when you flip the coin, the front and back are not perfectly aligned, instead shifted at a slight angle that signals one of the dies was improperly set when the strike occurred. And near the steps of the Lincoln Memorial, faint doubling appears again, creating the impression of overlapping pillars, blended architectural features, and shallow engravings that suggest a poorly prepared or reused die was involved during production. And that alone would be plenty. Yet the coin continues to reveal bizarre irregularities, including multiple die cracks running from the rim toward the interior, forming lightning-like fractures, especially near the reverse lettering and memorial roof. And on the obverse, a prominent die crack stretches toward the forelock of Lincoln's hairline, creating a raised line of metal that formed when the die fractured. Under stress, a sign that the die was nearing the end of its usable lifespan. And even more captivating are the microcuts present along the rim, small raised blobs where fragments of the die broke off, allowing metal to fill the shattered space during striking, a rare sign that the coin was produced during intense wear on the equipment, and evidence suggests the coin may have been struck more than once. A double strike or even triple strike error, based on faint overlapping impressions and misalignment that give Lincoln's profile a layered three-dimensional effect and distort the reverse shield's lines, while the edges show signs of being pushed and stretched in unusual ways, strongly indicating that multiple strikes occurred with slight rotations in position. And it is incredibly rare to find a coin exhibiting multi-strike errors alongside double die elements, off-metal composition, and die deterioration all stacked together. And when these extraordinary features combine in a single piece, they create a rarity so extreme that most experts consider it almost statistically impossible, giving this 1991 cent legendary status. And the preservation of the coin only enhances that status because despite carrying so many minting anomalies, the surfaces remain well preserved with strong luster, sharp relief, and minimal contact marks, leading professional graders to assign it an exceptionally high grade that adds to its value, because high-grade error coins are rare since Such pieces are often found in circulation long after minting. But this one must have been discovered soon after leaving the mint or stored carefully by someone who recognized its potential long before the rest of the world caught on. And questions surrounding how such an error-laden coin escaped quality control have fascinated collectors and historians who speculate that it may have been a result of a test strike during maintenance or calibration at the mint, or that older bronze planchets were accidentally mixed with newer materials during transitional production, or perhaps the coin was part of a batch struck using improperly annealed planchets and worn dies. And when combined with the misalignment of dies and possible multi-strike conditions, it slipped by error detection systems at a time before modern automated inspection was fully perfected. And this mysterious set of conditions adds intrigue and narrative value to the coin, transforming it from a numismatic oddity into a piece of history that tells a story of mechanical failure, human oversight, and the unpredictable nature of mass production. And when it finally surfaced at auction, wealthy collectors immediately recognized that the convergence of off-metal planchet, doubled dies, die cracks, microcuds, rotated strike anomalies, architectural doubling on the reverse, multi-strike evidence, and extraordinary preservation made this 1991 1 cent one of the most valuable modern era coins in existence, igniting a fierce bidding war that sent its selling price soaring into the millions, eventually landing at the unbelievable figure of $12 million, a price supported not just by rarity and demand, but by the fact that no other known 1991 penny offers the same impossible combination of features, making it essentially unique. And uniqueness is the single most powerful driver of price in the world of rare coins. Because when only one example is confirmed, collectors will stop at nothing to own it, especially when it represents a category of error that many never believed could occur in modern minting. And the legacy of this coin continues to inspire treasure hunters everywhere who now realize that even coins from the 1990s can hold astronomical value if they contain the right blend of errors. And this pushes collectors to examine every penny carefully, weighing coins to detect off-metal anomalies, searching for doubling around the date and portrait, looking for die cracks across the obverse or reverse, checking alignment for rotation, and closely inspecting rim structures for microcuts, because the next multi-million-dollar error could be hiding in plain sight inside a jar of change. And though only one example of this $12 million 1991 1 cent is officially documented, collectors believe more could exist, lost somewhere in circulation, waiting to be uncovered by a curious and determined coin hunter. And that possibility keeps the dream alive that fortune might truly be hiding in the smallest of places, even in a single penny. Last, today we unravel the astonishing tale of a modern treasure that proves fortune can still hide in the smallest places. A rare and mysterious 2000 D 1 cent coin that has shocked collectors and experts alike by claiming a legendary price tag of $3.5 million, an unreal value driven not by age or ancient history, but by a powerful mixture of minting errors, mechanical failures, metal anomalies, and improbable circumstances that merge to create one of the most fascinating coins ever linked to the Denver Mint. And while most people consider pennies minted after 1990 to be ordinary pocket pieces barely worth their face value, this extraordinary specimen demonstrates that the unpredictable nature of minting still leaves room for accidental masterpieces that could transform humble change into elite collectibles. And as we explore the unbelievable secrets hidden inside this 2000 D cent, you will see how error stacking, transitional planchet confusion, doubled strike impressions die, deterioration, and unusual preservation all combined into one tiny copper-plated treasure capable of commanding millions. And this incredible story begins with a critical minting mistake involving the metal itself, because unlike the standard zinc core coated in copper that has defined U.S. pennies since 1982. The 2000 D1 cent in question appears to have been struck on an off-metal planchet composed of a heavier bronze alloy, more similar to older pre-1982 cents, and this means that during production, either outdated bronze blank stock or a foreign planchet somehow entered the modern presses and was struck with the 2000 D dies, creating an extremely rare off-metal composition error. And the moment this anomaly was detected by a sharp-eyed collector weighing their coin, the penny's immediate uniqueness became impossible to ignore, because instead of weighing around 2.5 grams like a standard modern cent, this one revealed a heavier weight and a deeper, more traditional copper coloration that experts recognized as the first major clue to its monetary potential. And once metallurgical testing confirmed the strange composition, numismatic specialists knew that such an accidental striking on a wrong metal planchet could already place this coin among prize rarities. Yet this was only the beginning, because the obverse of the coin displays unmistakable double die effects across multiple elements, most notably around the profile of Abraham Lincoln, where his nose, beard, and coat outline appear to be shadowed by a faint second impression, creating that coveted doubling that collectors spend their lives hunting for. And the doubling also extends to the word liberty and the date 2000, producing a subtle but visible second layer underneath the main strike, a result that occurs when the die itself contains a repeated image from a flawed hubbing process. And double dies are among the most desirable errors because they are created before the coin is struck, meaning every coin produced from that die carries the same mistake. But in this case, no matching examples have been confirmed, suggesting that this double die obverse was so limited, possibly from a test or transitional die, that only this one escaped into circulation, and the mystery deepens as we flip the coin to examine the reverse, where the traditional Lincoln Memorial design appears with multiple abnormalities, including rotated die orientation, meaning when the coin is flipped vertically, the obverse and reverse do not align properly, but instead show a slight angular shift that can be measured against standard positioning, a clear sign that either the reverse die was temporarily misaligned during strike or the coin was struck more than once with slight rotation in between blows. And this theory becomes even more compelling when we look closely at the memorial columns, where faint overlapping architectural lines form ghost-like shadows on the pillars, suggesting that the coin may have received more than one strike, with slight movement in positioning that created layered impressions. And multiple strikes are exceptionally rare in modern minting due to advanced detection systems. So, when such an error occurs in conjunction with a double die and off-metal planchet, the rarity skyrockets beyond expectation, and additional scrutiny reveals die cracks branching outward from the rim toward Lincoln's portrait, forming delicate raised lines that occurred when a damaged die fractured under pressure, as well as tiny cuts, small raised blobs on the rim where pieces of the die face broke off entirely, allowing metal to flow into the void during striking. And such die deterioration indicates that this coin was struck at or near the end of the die's lifespan, a period when mistakes are more likely. Yet the extraordinary alignment of so many rare errors occurring simultaneously is almost miraculous, and again highlighting the extreme unlikelihood that a coin with such complex flaws could leave the mint undetected. And yet it did, surviving long enough to be found in an unknown setting. Some say in a penny roll, others claim it appeared in pocket change, before being recognized as something truly extraordinary and carefully preserved. And experts who examined the coin marveled at its brilliant luster and strong definition, aspects that suggest it never circulated significantly, retaining sharp relief in Lincoln's hair detail, beard outline, tux collar, and even the intricate steps of the memorial building. And the combination of such high preservation with extreme rarity only amplified its value, leading grading professionals to certify the piece at an unbelievably high grade, a level of quality that error coins rarely receive because they're usually damaged or worn by the time someone notices them. And this exceptional preservation signals that the coin was discovered and protected early, perhaps by someone who noticed its unusual color or weight, and kept it safe without fully understanding its potential. And when it finally surfaced into the collecting community, the numismatic world was stunned, quickly labeling it a once-in-a-century discovery as auctions prepare to showcase this impossible combination of traits, where deep-pocketed collectors engaged in heated competition to claim the only known 2000D penny with this astonishing stacking of errors. And ultimately, its final sale reached the staggering figure of $3.5 million, making it one of the most valuable modern U.S. mint error coins ever documented. And this unprecedented valuation was not just due to the off-metal planchet or the double-die obverse or the multi-strike shadows or the die deterioration or rotated alignment, but because all these errors occurred together, forming a one-in-a-billion specimen that defies probability and pushes numismatic logic to its limits. And stories like this one reinforce why collectors examine every coin they encounter. Because even recent pennies can hide unimaginable worth, and the idea that more of these could exist somewhere, waiting to be discovered, fuels the hunt among everyday people who check rolls, jars, and loose change with renewed excitement, hoping to find the next multimillion-dollar cent resting quietly in their hands. And while no other examples have surfaced, the mystery of how this 2000D anomaly escaped the mint, whether through accidental mixing of bronze blanks, temporary setup runs die, calibration tests, unnoticed misalignment, or failed screening procedures, remains unsolved, adding to its intrigue and narrative power, making it not just a rare piece of metal, but a story, an accident, a moment in time where everything went wrong yet turned out so right for the lucky finder. And its myth continues to grow, inspiring coin hunters everywhere to look more closely, analyze more carefully, and believe that treasures still exist even in the most ordinary corners of our modern world.